actively campaigning. Gary McDowell is the lone Democratic candidate, and I'm told that he's in Washington, D.C. I think you'd be better off being here tonight. The rules for tonight are pretty simple. Our questioners over here have prepared questions, some working with some of our co-sponsors and Jeremy in his newsroom. We're going to give a minute and a half for each candidate to answer the question that's presented. I'm going to sit over here in the front row, and I'll have a little green folder there that I'll hold up when you have 15 seconds left, and we'll ask you to try to respect our time. And then at the end, after we've done all of our questions, which will probably be 3 or 4 questions, we're also going to give you 1 minute just to wrap up. So if you have any outstanding words or final comments you'd like to add, please feel free to do that. Jeremy is the chair of our panel tonight, and he will determine the order in which candidates respond. And like I said, I'll be right in the audience here. So with that introduction, I'll sit over here, and thank you very much.
All right, good evening, gentlemen. Shall we begin? All right, your first question. Many Republicans in the 1st Congressional want to repeal the health care reform bill. What type of health care reform would you support? And let's start with Dr. Finchak.
Thank you. Well, I certainly don't support the health care bill as it is because it's a complete disaster. It has nothing to do with reforming health care. It has to do with controlling your lives. I think free market, patient-centered reform is the answer. We need interstate competition in the health insurance business. Right now we have very few options in every state as to where you can buy your health insurance. There's no Geico, there's no Progressive, you just can't shop around. That in itself would decrease costs tremendously. We need personal ownership of your health insurance. Tax credits so that you can buy your own health insurance personally and get the same tax credits that your employer gets. We need to have promotion of health savings accounts so that people are responsible for the first few dollars of their health care and have those accounts be tax credited as well. And we need tort reform. We need to change the way the lawsuits occur in medicine. These ideas alone would save a tremendous amount of money and don't involve taking over our care by the government.
Thank you. Next up, Jason Allen.
Thank you very much. I have the privilege of chairing the Health Policy Committee, and we've had the opportunity to do extensive reviews in regards to what's going on with the National Health Care Program. I would repeal it. If we can't repeal it, we would stop the funding, and I believe in a local option. As you know, what we are seeing is that we are already seeing plans being put in place for large expansions of health care in the Detroit area, with probably the doubling of the size of the Detroit Medical Center, which to me spells that rural health care is going to be in a rationing type of a program. The first item that we need to take a look at is we recognize that approximately 10% of the society has systemic diseases that would have to be run on some sort of a state system, is what I would propose, using a Blue Cross Blue Shield model, which we've already studied. And with the actuarial tables, you can put that together. The second component is then you would, the other 90%, we would work very diligently to come up with a system of a medical care savings account. Those would probably wind up being the best way because that would allow you to spend your dollars or save your dollars depending on your health care scenario. We have to stop the trial errors, and then we also have to work on the ability to transmit data from rural hospitals to urban to mid-sized hospitals.
Thank you. Next up, Tom Stillings.
Medical care is a personal responsibility. The best thing that we can do as a government is to let the marketplace function without government hindrance, which means enforce the Commerce Clause of the Constitution so that health insurance can be sold across state lines. It means to get bureaucracy out of the way. The more government you have, the more bureaucrats you're paying, the more the cost of your health insurance is going to increase and the less care you're going to receive. The one thing that the government can do is to lead the way in cutting costs. You know, tort reform is a necessity at all levels. Many states have it already, and the federal government, unfortunately, is the last resort of scoundrels who avoid the laws in states that have tort reform. The other thing the government